Warriors. Coach, former player, Steph Clay, Bob Myers, new arena, Silicon Valley, California weather. I don't get it. It wouldn't make any more money in New York. I think it would feel like LeBron going to the Lakers. He'd be great and have a bunch of average young guys around him that nobody else wants. I hope he doesn't go. I like this Kevin Durant. But let me defend Kevin Durant leaving for a second. Kevin Durant has been arguably the best basketball player in the world for 10 years. I say LeBron, but he's a better offensive player, I think, than LeBron. But his entire life of basketball, Kevin Durant has finished second. Number 2, Kevin Durant went behind Greg Oden. Really? Then he goes to Oklahoma City. And Sam Presti puts his arms around Westbrook over Kevin Durant. He's number 2. Really? And then he goes to Golden State, where he's clearly the best player, but he'll never be as popular as Steph. He's number 2. Really? And then for 10 years, despite his dominance, there's LeBron. He's number 2. Really? Even at Nike, his contract, second best. And I'm not saying Kevin Durant thinks about what I'm going to say, but let me ask you, when it comes to iconic stuff, 25, 30, 40, 50 years later, it usually works in groups of 4. In the NBA, Magic saved the league, MJ made it global, LeBron made it mobile, and Steph revolutionized it. Kevin Durant, he's not on the Mount Rushmore. He's just great. It even works that way with great centers. Bill Russell was the most accomplished, most titles. Wilt was the most statistically dominant. Kareem was the most unstoppable. And Shaq was the most physically dominant. Akeem, often better than Shaq. He's just great. It works that way in all sorts of fields. I've worked in radio my entire life. Marconi creates it. Paul Harvey's the first star. Rush Limbaugh saves AM radio. Howard Stern's the ultimate bad boy. I was an Imus fan. But does he just qualify as great? Generally works in that Mount Rushmore thing we talk about, 4s. 25, 30 years from now at a bar. Not my bar, a bar. I won't be here. Magic saved it. Michael made it global. LeBron made it mobile. Steph made it a 3-ball league. Will we just say, God damn, Kevin Durant was unbelievable. Akeem was unbelievable. It's even in music. Individual stars, Sinatra, Elvis, Michael Jackson, Elton John, Whitney. Usually don't get to a 5th or a 6th. It's groups of 4. I look at Kevin Durant, and I think he's nuts to leave. But he always seems like he finishes second, and not only second, but he's better than the first. He was better than Greg Oden. He's better than Steph. He shouldn't have the number 2 current deal at Nike. He's no longer second to LeBron. He shouldn't be number 2 to Westbrook. Like, I get it. I get when you are the world's best. I can understand a guy thinking, man, would somebody finally say, you the man? I don't get it, but if he went to New York, unlike LeBron's foray to Los Angeles, which has been at best a mess, and he won in New York, maybe then he makes the mountain. But I'm watching him last night, and the gap between him and even the amazing James Harden is substantial. We had the Warriors beat writer, one of them, Marcus Thompson, on our show about 3 weeks ago. And one of the questions I asked him, I said, like, he's smart, right? Like, he's going to give the Warriors a final chance to sell him, right? Here's what Marcus said about KD.
I'm not buying that at the last moment he's sitting at a meeting with somebody and he can't be swayed. Either way, to stay or go. Because
that's his personality.
Yeah. He could think it's done right now, whether that's staying or going. I still think later on, like, he can be swayed. Like, he's a guy, he feels everything. He sits in the room. He's present. He's got to weigh this stuff. We still have 3 or 4 more series if they win a championship of data to insert into this equation, right? Like, I don't know if even if he thinks he knows the answer, I don't think he knows the answer. I'm not buying it.
I think that decision, the more I think about it, is more complicated and confusing and tougher than I at first thought. All right, we got a lot of stuff to get through today. Celtics got blown out. What does it mean? I thought the officiating, Draymond Green said, stop with the officiating. It's amazing. An incredibly funny moment last night on television. And do the Cowboys have a major decision on their hands, and there's no way to solve it? That's coming up. After a childhood full of unsuccessful attempts to pull the wool over your mother's eyes, do you really think she's going to not be able to tell the difference between a last-minute Mother's Day gift and something truly thoughtful? May 12th is the day. It's Mother's Day. So you got yourself a little over a week and a half. Don't waste time. Don't cheap out. Don't try to fake it. Go to 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now, easy math. 30 tulips, $30. Buck a tulip. Bright, beautiful mix of yellow, orange, pink bloom.